but things are changing rapidly. Together, we've changed America for the better. Now we have 74 days to finish the term, our term. Let's make every day count. That's the responsibility we have to the American people. Look, folks, you all know it in your lives. Setbacks are unavoidable, but giving up is unforgivable. Setbacks are unavoidable, but giving up is unforgivable. We all get knocked down. But the measure of our character, as my dad would say, is how quickly we get back up. Remember, a defeat does not mean we are defeated. We lost this battle. The American dreams is calling for you to get back up. That's the story of America for over 240 years and counting. It's a story for all of us, not just some of us. The American experiment endures. We're going to be okay, but we need to stay engaged. We need to keep going. And above all, we need to keep the faith. I'm so proud to have worked with all of you. I really mean it. I sincerely mean it. God bless you all. God bless America. And may God protect our troops. Thank you, thank you, thank you.
All right. So he's done. He's done talking. And we're gonna let Joe take a nap. Um I think that was very nice of him. He said he had already spoken to Trump yesterday and congratulated him or whatever. Um yeah, so that's that. Y'all, I don't know what's going on social media. I was gonna go live yesterday on this channel and on my main channel, and I changed my mind. People gone crazy. People have literally lost their minds. Bianca, have you been seeing what's going on? People like spazzing out, screaming, crying, cussing. People have lost their minds after this election. I don't understand. At the end of the day, at the end of the day, somebody's got to win, somebody's got to lose, and we move on. We live to fight another day. Like, run again. You get what I'm saying? Like, if it didn't go right this time or go the way you wanted it to go, just wait 4 years, do it again. Like, the amount of shenanigans is crazy. Now, I'm going to tell you this. I'm going to tell you this, okay? Because this ain't one of my vertical streams. I feel like this is more or less the people who know me, so I'm just going to talk. We saw crazy 4 years ago. Y'all remember? If you're here, welcome. Like this video, put a thumb in the chat. 4 years ago, we saw some crazy too. When Trump lost the last one, we saw people crying, screaming. It was one lady like, "Oh, Trump, come save us." I didn't know who she wanted him to save them from. It was funny, but it was crazy. And this 4 years, I didn't think it would be like that. I'm gonna be honest. I did not think that especially people in our community, I didn't think we were gonna, take part in the shenanigans. I was surprised. Okay, I was surprised, B. I couldn't believe it. I said, "Are we really doing this? Is this a thing? Are we doing this?" And apparently we're doing it. This is what it is. So screaming and hollering. I think the lady that was in her car screaming no and shaking her steering wheel was the worst I had seen. I don't think that I saw anybody as nutty as that lady. That lady was special. She was special. One chick, I saw the one that shaved, that cut her hair off. I'm like, what does your hair have to do with anything? Y'all, they're tripping. They're tripping. So hopefully they get better soon. While I'm here, let me go ahead and do our news updates. It's about that time. Let's go ahead and get our news updates done. Okay. How's everybody doing? Happy Thursday. Hey, Heal the Land, please. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. Y'all, please like this video, share this video, and give me some bubbles, pretty please, with a cherry on top. So, let's talk about what's going on in the news. Because while the election was big and everybody was talking about it, it is not the only thing that's happening in the world right now. I do know that everybody, is so consumed with this because of various reasons, but there's more than that going on in the world. So let's try to keep up with what's happening everywhere, all right? Everywhere. So Hurricane Rafael is heading toward Cuba. That was as of yesterday. It was supposed to be a category 3. So if you know people in Cuba, got some Cuban friends, or even like Cuban sandwiches, say a prayer for Cuba. Lord, Nancy Pelosi said she was going to retire, but instead she won her 20th term as a rep for California. I knew she wasn't going to retire. Nancy Pelosi just be lying to lie at this point. Well, let's talk about California. California has absolutely made the news. Well, California, they said, voted overwhelmingly. So I guess it was by a landslide to pass Proposition 36. Now, Proposition 36 is one that calls for harsher punishments for crime. And for whatever reason, y'all, they say the governor of California, Gavin Newsom, opposed Proposition 36, which is amazing. If it's a proposition that guarantees harsher punishment for crime, why on earth would your government be against that? You're not government with your governor. Why would he be against that? So, California voters approved by massive margin a ballot measure to more harshly punish certain crimes, with the initiative garnering a whopping 70.6%, with nearly 7.6 million ballots counted. So it sounds like the residents of California are sick of the criminals. Now, the outcome of the state's Proposition 36 reflected a backlash to light penalties for shoplifting and drug-related crimes. So, y'all, it looks like Gavin Newsom wanted to continue light punishments for shoplifting and drug-related crimes. I'm not sure why he would want that, but he was against it, okay? Now, Proposition 36 authorizes felony charges for possession of drugs, including fentanyl, and for thefts under $950 if the offender has 2 prior drug charges. I like that. 2 prior drug or theft convictions. So if they shoplift, even if it's under $950, if they have 2 prior convictions for drugs or theft, either or, automatic felony. I like that, because that means you're a career criminal and you have no intention of stopping. So we do need harsher punishments. And kudos to you, California, for saying you've had enough. According to the official summary of its provisions, the nascent law creates a new category of crime called treatment mandated felony that allows a person to have their drug conviction set aside if they complete rehab. Okay? So I'm very happy. I'm very happy to see that California is saying no to crime. We need to say no to crime. Crime needs to stop. Citizens need to feel safe again. Can we do that? Everybody want to do something again. Can we make citizens feel safe again? Is that one we can do, or is that not okay? Let's go ahead and put criminals where they belong, in prison, not on the streets, threatening and making U.S. citizens unsafe and uncomfortable. We need you in prison. Prison is a great place for criminals. Those of you who all know me know I've worked many years in the prison system, and I believe in prison. Prison is where you should be if you're a criminal. Now, in the spirit of Peanut, a 9-year-old girl in California is suing. You hear me? Suing the government because they seized and killed her pet goat. You heard it right. And she won too. They had to pay her $300,000 for killing her goat. So first they killed a goat, then they killed Peanut, and the young lady who is 9 years old has sued the government and won $300,000 because they took her pet goat. They took her pet goat and took his life. Yes, they killing goats, raccoons, and squirrels, but we got illegals running everywhere. Kia Mia says, same. I worked in the prison system also. That's right. Prison is necessary. And the people who think prison is not necessary are the people who've never been inside one. The people who are in there almost definitely 100% of the time need to be in there. And that's not to say that there aren't some people who have been railroaded or wrongfully convicted. But for the most part, when they're in there, they need to be in there. So let's keep them locked up. Let's get them some help so they can actually rehabilitate before they get back on the street, so they can actually correct themselves. But let's not pretend that criminals do not belong in prison. That's better for everybody. Let's just get you in there and keep you in there, and maybe you can learn a trade or get your GED or possibly some other education, and you can better your life and maybe not be a criminal anymore. But they do belong in prison. That is the correct place for a criminal. Okay. Hi, Tracy Somerville. My main channel is Shanitra. It's just my name, Seanitra. And you're welcome too. Now, that channel is for gossip, celebrity news, pop culture, and music and everything. And that one is a lot more fun. That one's a lot more fun. This one is just to get the news out, because I'll tell you, when I was doing my news on my main channel, people who don't like the news, or they want you to pretend like the truth isn't the truth, they just mass report your page and harass you and stuff. So I decided, if we're going to do the news, we'll do the news on Black Not Blue. And I named it Black Not Blue so people would get the point. Like, when you come over here, I am Black. I'm going to tell you the truth. I'm not going to skew the truth to make it sound good for any party. And I had to say not blue because I'm Black, people automatically assume that you're supposed to like champion and, you know, protect people who wear blue. I don't do that. I don't protect anybody on my platforms. Please understand, anybody can get it. I spare no one. I spare no one. Not a soul. So yeah, that my main channel is Shanitra. Is Bianca still here? Can you put my main channel in the chat? If not, if she had to go back to work, I'll do it. But yes, this young lady sued the government. She's her goat was seized in 2022. They took her goat when she was 9. She's now 11. Her name is Jessica Long. I'm sorry, Jessica Long is the mother. I don't think they're saying the daughter's name. Jessica Long is the mother. Bianca must have had to go back to work. Let me put the name of my main channel in the chat. Oh, you got me? All right. Thank you, B. I thought you had to go back to work, girl. But anyway, her goat's name was Cedar, and they took him off in 2022, and she's been fighting for 2 years. Okay, the Shasta County Sheriff's Office and their officers took this poor little girl's goat. And they traveled 500 miles to come and get this little girl's goat, and they didn't even have a warrant. Wow. And they said this was all in the name of the state fair's supposed rules that had no legal binding. So a state fair had some rules, but there was no law to enforce the rules of the state fair. So they came and took this little girl's goat and killed her goat, Cedar. So they killed Cedar in 2022. And because we didn't stop them, they went over there to New York and they killed Peanut and Fred. Okay, we need justice for Peanut and Fred too. Okay, that bothered me. I was real hurt that they killed Peanut and Fred. I don't know. I don't know. Something about that really bothered me. It did. So, hey, Miss Sparkle. That is our resident Mary Kay lady. Y'all better holler at her. So, in other news, this is election related, but no more presidential stuff. I don't want to hear no more about it. I've had enough. In other election news, Delaware elected their first openly transgender person to serve in Congress. Someone named Sarah McBride. So Delaware elected the first openly transgender person. I'm not sure how that's going to work out. I hope it goes well, because a person is a person. So hopefully it goes very well. And it doesn't turn into a farce. That's what I'm hoping. I'm hoping that it goes well and it does not turn into a farce, because it can. Because it can. And y'all know it. Um Ooh, let's talk money. Y'all know I love to talk about the money. Listen, so on the money market, y'all, they say China's yuan has plummeted in reaction to Trump's victory at the polls. Trump won, China's currency dropped. I think I know why. I think this is a bit of a panic because he was kind of hard on China the last time he was in office. So I think that's why their money dropped. I know Bitcoin has been like jumping like jackrabbits. They're saying Bitcoin is forecasted to be at 100 before the end of the year. I don't know. I don't know. But and it's not that I'm wishing bad on China, but it's like China has been surging and other markets have been surging while the dollar has been declining. And I think this is in direct result of the fact that the talks of the tariffs are on the table, and they know that's going to change the market for them. That's going to change their economy a little bit. And I think that the money market is responding to that. I think that's the response that we're seeing. Okay. um Hold on, there's other things going on. Y'all know there's certain things I don't necessarily like to report if I can avoid it. Just because some things are just too problematic. And when a topic is too problematic, I'm not afraid to leave it alone. Cause I can do that. Because I can do that. Okay. Because I'm trying to avoid all the election news. Oh, you welcome, Tracy. And oh, you telling Bianca, thank you. My bad. I'm in y'all's conversation. Okay, so anyway, across the globe, because I'm tired of the election news. I am. I've had enough. Um, France is I gotta say something about this one. This one is funny, y'all. So France's Emmanuel Macron, with his backstabbing self, they said he was among the first to congratulate Trump, and other EU leaders followed. Now, Ukraine's Zelensky praised Republicans' peace through strength approach, while Russia floated the idea of resetting relations. Yeah, y'all floated. I'm gonna be quiet. They're floating the idea of resetting relations with America because right now Russia has declared us their enemy, and for good reason. We're supplying weapons and rhetoric and propaganda against them on a regular basis. So, and we attacked their land to air satellite that's facing in the other direction. So uh, land to air missile satellite. So I understand them declaring us an enemy, but they floated the idea of resetting relations with us now that the current administration has been ousted. Netanyahu talked about a new beginning for America, and he's of course elated because Trump is going to support Israel. He's always been very loud about being pro-Israel, much to my chagrin. But I feel like no matter who we got in office, they were going to support Israel because let's just tell it like it is. Israel is America's eye in the Middle East. You know what I'm saying? So they kind of get away with murder, literally, quite literally, and figuratively. So, in my humble opinion, I don't think it mattered who we got in office. They were going to continue to supply money and cover for Israel, no matter how many war crimes they commit. They're going to be allowed to do it. That's just it. I don't think we're not going to get anybody in office who's going to say, yeah, we're not supplying any more aid to Israel. It's never going to happen. Um, Now, wait a minute. Hold on. This is interesting. China says they're going to work with the U.S. on the basis of mutual respect. The government said, but that's what the government said, right? But strategists indicate Beijing was bracing for 4 more years of bitter superpower rivalry over trade, technology, and security issues. There you go. Now that's probably more like the truth. I can see them bracing for more rivalry and over trade, tech, and security issues and superpower rivalry. Um, to be fair and to be honest, I'm not going to say we started it. I feel like the last round of this tete-a-tete between us and China, we absolutely kind of did, with our involvement with Taiwan, with our involvement with NVIDIA. Thanks, Nancy Pelosi. Um, and things of that nature. And I think it was over those microchips and different things like that. So there is a rivalry there. There's a heavy rivalry there. I think that our relationship with China is tenuous, is complicated. As much as we get from them, as much as we allow them to do, the fact that they own over 200,000 acres of fertile farmland in America is troublesome to me. The fact that all of those, there have been millions of military aged Chinese citizens who have been allowed to illegally cross into America at the southern border is a bit of a problem. I also think, this is a personal opinion. I cannot back it up with fact, but this is just my opinion. And y'all know when it's my opinion, I will tell you it is just an opinion. In my opinion, the fentanyl that we've seen flooding the streets of America is coming from China. That's just my opinion. I can't prove it. It is what it is. It's what I think. But then there's also, so it's like we're allowing things, but then we're also attacking them too, because their relations with Taiwan is none of our business. Okay, none of our business. We should completely stay out of that, and we have not. The fact that those of you who were watching me year and a half, 2 years ago, y'all know I showed the paperwork where the Taiwanese consulate and other Taiwan entities were giving millions of dollars to Nancy Pelosi. And Nancy's family, i.e. her husband, Paul, is known to have purchased stock in microchip companies that were based in Taiwan. So it's like we see the conflict of interest there, but we also did cover all of the insider trading that goes on within Congress. A lot of your representatives and senators are insider trading, and it's legal, and they get away with it. They get away with it, and everybody knows they do it. And here we are. So another result, like I mentioned, China's yuan plummeting on the money market. Investors, after Trump won, investors went buying dollars, Bitcoin, and stocks. Baby, they sold the bonds and bought the dollars, the Bitcoin, and the stock. Everybody is looking for a bull market. They're looking for the money to go crazy. And I think they're right. We have to pay more attention to that. Like I said, y'all, bear with me. I'm trying to get past any heavy presidential election news. I don't want to cover any of that. I don't care if I got notes or not. I'm tired. I was going to cover a lot of that information as of yesterday, but like I said earlier in this broadcast, when I saw how crazy people acted yesterday, I'm no longer interested. People literally lost their minds. And it was uncalled for, and it's unacceptable for adults to behave the way folks behaved. I felt the same way 4 years ago when Trump lost, and I saw people crying and screaming and doing all this stuff online 4 years ago. I feel the same way now. I'm just embarrassed, to see that type of stuff, especially with people who look like me. I was heavily, heavily offended by what I saw yesterday. Okay. So let's get into Mr. Netanyahu over there in Israel. So Benji boy, the war criminal, Netanyahu, fired his defense minister. He said, citing a crisis of trust. Hey, Sandy83, good morning. Citing a crisis of trust, replaced him with his close ally, Israel Katz, to lead his country's war in Gaza and Lebanon. Yoav Gallant, which was the guy that got fired, they said that removes a thorn in Netanyahu's side. I think what we're looking at is he doesn't want anyone who opposes or has an opposing opinion or possibly thinks that maybe what they're doing to the people in Gaza and Lebanon is just wrong. I'm just saying. I don't think he wants anybody to draw attention to the fact that his behavior just may be wrong. Hey, Kia Mia says, I don't understand why Black women took it so personally. I don't either. I'm a Black woman, and that lady does not represent me in no way. She does not. She does not. Hey, Divine. Thank you for being like number 18. Y'all, please like my video. This channel is small. It is new, but I need your support. And the biggest way you can help me is by giving me a thumbs up. Okay, I got to be good enough for a thumb. But I think that's Netanyahu's issue, and that's why he replaced Mr. Yoav Gallant with a close ally, so he wouldn't have anybody to possibly challenge some of the ideas that he has, or challenge some of the strategy that he has concerning Gaza and Lebanon. I think that's really what it comes down to. I think that's also why one of his ministers said that the biggest threat to Israel is Black American youth. And I'm never going to forget that. It's going to always stay at front of mind that these people are not allies to Black America. These people hate Black America. And when your government, our government, is so dead set on supporting people who are openly, vocally, overtly enemies to Black America, I think that says a lot about both parties. And that's one of the reasons why I feel like we should not be so dedicated to anybody. I think you should vote your conscience and vote for what you want and vote against what you don't want. But to be so invested that you're ready to cry and roll around in the dirt and cut off your hair for these people, you're crazy. They don't like you, because if they were truly your allies and they truly care for you, there's no way they would be supporting a regime of people who say that you're the biggest threat to them. There's no way they would on either side. So you'll never hear me championing anybody. I think it's madness. Bianca said, why did I get a text? Wait, why did I get a text about a grief call group for the election? I've never received anything like that before. Girl, Bianca, they're losing it. They are losing it, and I don't understand. I don't understand. I'm going to say this. I think Bernie Sanders had the most intelligent approach out of everybody. Nancy Pelosi sitting up there looking like her face was going to melt off just made me laugh, to be quite honest. Probably just because I don't like Nancy. I can't stand Nancy. I never liked Nancy. Ever. In her life. In her whole life. Bernie Sanders said one of the most intelligent things about the whole thing. Bernie said, y'all know I have to squint. I need to get glasses. I do. I got to accept that I'm old and these eyes don't work like they used to. He said, it should come as no great surprise that a Democratic Party, which has abandoned working class people, find that the working class has abandoned them. Hello, good night. That's why they should have let Bernie run, because Bernie is telling the truth. You cannot talk down on, degrade, low rate, insult, condescend to the people you need to vote for you. It doesn't work. It just doesn't. And then acting like your heart is broken and you're gonna die is crazy. Just stop it. LaPriest said, I told my cousin I wasn't confident in my vote. I don't think a lot of people were, LaPriest. I think a lot of people were not confident in their vote. And I think that that's with good reason. I think that is with good reason. Heal the land. Says, I got the same text. They texted you that too? Oh, wow. Oh, wow. You got, oh my God. Miss Sparkle says she got the message Tuesday before it was even official. That's crazy. That's what I'm saying. That's why I'm like, honestly, I'm kind of staying away from that stuff because it is so toxic. And I do not understand how people are getting swept up in all this. Like, I just, don't mind me. Don't mind me. But yeah, so Netanyahu fired his defense minister, who possibly had some different ideas, and hired his ally. He put his friend in that position. Now, let's talk about the North Korean troops that are helping Russia. And I'm okay with it. I told y'all up front, this is not to me, not our dog, not our fight. I don't understand why people are that invested in this. The only investment we have is monetary, and I want the money withdrawn from Ukraine immediately. We should have never backed Ukraine in this proxy war and used U.S. tax dollars to do it. But that notwithstanding, we did. And so did NATO and other EU countries. Now, North Korea is assisting Russia. Now, we did see Vlad, our homeboy Vlad Putin went down there to North Korea. Him and Kim Jong-un was riding around in the Russian luxury car. They hitting the curves, skirt. They doing their thing. The car looked great. I would like to have one. I know I won't, but it looked great. It would be nice, cousin Putin, if you want to send your girl one, I would drive it. I would. Always been a fan. Love your work. However, who child? Zelensky is not happy about his first battle with the Ukrainian military and North Korean troops. I mean, they weren't doing so great against Russia. I honestly didn't expect him to do so great against the North Korean troops. He says it opens a new page. Excuse me. He said it opens a new page in instability in the world. Y'all, that's funny. What do you mean instability? I don't know. I think this is my opinion. So I'm just telling you what I think. I think people like Zelensky don't quite understand that how war works. You don't just get everybody to help you fight one person. They have allies too, and their allies can assist them. This is why we try to, those of us who are rational, try to advise against this and push back against this, because this is how world wars happen. Because everybody has allies. They have trade partners. People are willing to assist, just like the US and the EU assisted you, North Korea, and even China at some point, should they decide, could end up assisting Russia. And this is how world wars began, son. And this is why people thought, the rational people thought this was a bad idea from the beginning. Now, I know that Zelensky is a comedian, but he's got to stop telling jokes while he's in office, especially since you jailed your political opposition and suspended elections indefinitely. You got to stop telling jokes while you're in office. You have to. Volodymyr, okay? Child, they need a group chat about the high electric bills. I agree. But yep, so they claim that they took down a couple of Russian drones. So that, kudos to you, right? Now, Apple is in trouble in the EU. Apple is in trouble in the EU, y'all. Apple is about to be fined. They're going to be fined in the EU, which is the European Union. And it's due to an antitrust regulation, right? So the European Union's antitrust regulators, under the bloc's landmark rules, aimed at reining in the power of big tech, making it the first company to be sanctioned. So meaning they won't be the last. The first company to be sanctioned, sources with direct knowledge of the matter said on Tuesday. The regulators charged in June that the iPhone maker had breached the Block's tech rules. The charge against Apple was the first by the commission under its Digital Market Act, the DMA. The fine is likely to come this month, although the timing could still change, the sources said. The fine would add to Apple's mounting antitrust troubles as EU regulators attempt to level the playing field for smaller firms. This comes just months after Brussels fined Apple 1.84 billion euros, which is $2.01 billion, in March for thwarting competition from music streaming rivals via restrictions on its App Store, Apple's first ever penalty for breaching EU's rules. Ooh, this is getting interesting now. The Digital Markets Act, which came into force earlier this year, requires Apple to allow users to set the default web browser of their choice on iPads, permit alternative app stores on its operating system, and allow headphones and smart pens to access iPad OS features. Apple declined to comment. The European Commission did not immediately respond to a Reuters request for comment. Apple also lost the long running court battle with the EU in September, resulting in the company being forced to pay 13 billion euros in back taxes to Ireland. Ooh wee. Bloomberg first reported on Apple's imminent EU fine earlier on Tuesday. Watchdogs are readying the penalty after Apple failed to allow app developers to steer users to cheaper deals and offer outside of the App Store, Bloomberg reported, citing people familiar with the case. Y'all, this is getting real. Apple, I knew Apple was eventually going to get in trouble. Hey, sweet beloved, thank you for being like number 21. I knew Apple was eventually going to get in trouble. I think it's very telling that America said the EU is making noise. So the issue is, some of you are Apple users. My daughter's an Apple user. Hubby's an Apple user. I don't use Apple. The only thing Apple I have is my iPad. Nothing else. So I do see the direct difference because I talk on an Android and my iPad is Apple. So the issue they're running into in the EU with their new DMA, okay, is that they can't. People who have iPhones over there are not able to access music apps and different things outside of Apple. The fact that they cannot use earphones or stylus pens that are not Apple. And they feel like just after you bought the item, you should be able to use whatever you want on it. You should be able to access music platforms other than Apple once you're on it. And I think that is the biggest issue. That is the problem that they're having. It should have been said over here. It should have been said in the US. Why do I say that? I remember, Lord, I hope I'm not telling my age. But I remember when AT&T was hit with antitrust, when AT&T was accused of a monopoly because of the fact that they dominated the phone market here in America. They were forced to break up things, sell off, things that they had, the technology, the poles, like they were forced to break it up. And so if it was meat for AT&T, why not so for Apple? I think what we're looking at over here is whoever is greasing the palms of the politicians, they keep quiet. And it's not because the citizenry has not complained, because I have heard American citizens complain about the same thing. That once you buy an Apple phone, everything has to be this, that. It's got to be an iPod, the iPen, and this, that. And it has to be Apple. It has to be Apple branded or it will not work. It's not compatible with their devices. And so now the EU has said, yeah, y'all gonna pay a fine. Y'all gonna have to stop doing this, and in the meanwhile, you're gonna pay a fine. So shout out to the EU for actually doing the right thing, because what Apple is getting away with is actually not okay. It's kind of criminal, just a little bit, in my opinion. So I'm glad that they stepped in and they're doing something. Let's talk about Boeing, okay? We haven't had a lot to say about Boeing, with the whistleblowers coming up dead. The doors ripping off and stuff in mid-flight, all that crazy stuff. So anyway, ending the strike stemmed the bleeding at Boeing, okay? Now CEO Kelly Ortberg, just 3 months into the job, is faced with repairing a divided, demoralized, and drifting American corporate icon. The strike has exposed divides that run through the company. I don't know, y'all. Boeing Oh, Boeing. Oh, Boeing. More than 33,000 factory workers in the American Northwest will trudge back to work over the next week after they voted us by a slim margin to accept Boeing's third contract, ending a 7-week strike that brought Ortberg's honeymoon at Boeing to a shuddering halt. So Ortberg had just become the CEO, and then here we go with a strike. Okay. The strike has exposed divides that run right through the company, not just between the board and the machinists, but also rifts within the union membership and resentment between white collar staff and factory workers. According to interviews, the more than 20 people with knowledge of Boeing's operations include current and former senior officials, suppliers, union leaders, and plant workers. These fractures could hamper and delay a host of urgent issues facing Ortberg and his leadership team, including restoring plane production. Y'all should slow down on that plane production. I'm just saying. Restructuring Boeing's floundering defense and space business and shoring up a supply chain creaking under the weight of years of safety and production crises at Boeing and a crippling pandemic, people said. Okay, I think they need to slow up with that plane production. And didn't that shuttle that they sent up get stranded in outer space? Aren't those people still stranded in outer space? Because you can't call AAA up there. I think those people are still stranded. Oh, it's 11/11. Make a wish. Okay, but yeah, slow up on that. Slow up on that. And the fact that y'all have had years of safety and production crises, yeah, slow up on the airplane making, because I'm uncomfortable flying anyway. I don't want to inadvertently end up in one of your planes and then end up in the ocean or a greasy spot on the pavement. I would rather not. So maybe slow up. Heal the Land Please says the old Apple Watch does not work with the new iPhone. They should be fined for that. All that money you spend on their products. Yep, because they're not cheap either. They are not cost effective. They are not kind to the consumer in any way. They make things very restrictive. They make things very, very restrictive. Okay. Now, wait a minute. Trying to get through my notes, and I typed them up trying to be smart. And then it started sticking on me. Don't stick. Don't stick. Let's see what else we got going on, y'all. They're still talking about this dang election. They just won't let it go. They won't let it go. Oh, Bianca had one and didn't know why it wouldn't work. You thought something was wrong with your watch. Nope. They're trying to force you to buy a new watch. Oh, and while we're on Apple, before we move on to Cuba's issue with the hurricane, before we move on to that, with the Apple thing, I've been told, and I don't know because, like I said, I only have the one Apple device and it's not a phone, right? But I have been told from hubby and from Peanut, from my Peanut, not the Peanut that got shot in New York, my daughter, I call her my Peanut. I've been told by them that Apple will start sending updates to your phone, and the updates eventually make your phone crash and then make you buy another, and that makes you have to buy another phone. Is that true? In the chat, anybody? Because I'm wondering if that's the case, that needs to be, investigated too. Why are y'all pushing through updates that damage phones to force people to upgrade? If the phone is still working, they should be fine. I know the older phones didn't do that, and then I started hearing that maybe in the last 5 years or so. Oh, they keep pushing through updates until your phone stops working. Somehow I believe it too. But let me know in the chat if that's the truth. But I have heard that. So Cuba, I was reading the information about Rafael heading for Cuba. So Rafael slammed into the island. Okay. He slammed on into him. LaPrice, you say you heard that too? Okay, cool. So Rafael slammed into Cuba. Okay. And their national electrical grid has collapsed. So I was reading my notes from yesterday and then my notes from today. So he has reached and he collapsed their national electrical grid. Okay. That's terrible. Now their population is about 10 million people. And so now this is 10 million people without electricity for the second time in a month. So again, y'all say some prayers for Cuba. Doesn't look so great right now, but hopefully they rebound. I'm sure they will. I'm sure they will. Okay, let me see. Heal the Land, please says, I do know that there are certain iPhones that will no longer accept updates and you need to get a new phone. Oh, wow. So, does that cover everything that I can cover? Like the news is so election heavy, y'all. I'm having to like cherry pick. I'm having to cherry pick because that's how bad the news has gotten. Yeah, it's gotten so bad now you really can't get around it. So that's it, y'all, for the news update for today. Okay. If anything else happens, I will come back. I may just do a vertical stream or something. I do have to advise y'all, if we do a vertical stream, Bianca, I hope you there, girl. I hope Peanut is there, because y'all know when we do vertical streams, we end up getting people who are not regulars, who don't really know us, and they jump in, and that's okay. Y'all know me. Everybody's welcome. I don't believe in being rude or mean to anybody, but just be aware, like if I do a vertical stream, like one of the mobile vertical streams or whatever, that we do get people who are not necessarily part of our regular family of viewers or subscribers. So some of them are nice and some of them are not so nice. And so, y'all be ready. Okay. But yeah, we will be live on the front porch in a little bit, because baby, the gossip has resurfaced. And y'all know that makes me very happy. Candy Delight said, yes, that's true. I have the phone, the watch, and the iPad. You have the phone, the watch, the iPad, and the MacBook. And although I don't have it to auto install the update, it does it anyway on my Apple products. It also auto sets things. Oh no, that should be illegal. Bianca said, I'm leaving work early today, so if you do it after 2 your time, I'll be here. Okay, bet. So after 3 p.m. Eastern time, 2 p.m. Central, we will be on the front porch with the gossip, because the gossip is bubbling. It is bubbling, and that makes me very happy. Kia Mia says, yes, and even if you don't want the upgrade, it happens automatically. That should not be legal. Hey, D. Seratinas, good morning. Happy Thursday. Happy Thursday. Yes. So listen, that is it for here on Black Not Blue, but we will be on our main channel on Shanitra on the front porch. Gossip is bubbling, and so am I. So it's wash day too. I'm supposed to wash this stuff because it's a little rough, as y'all can tell. But as much as I hate to comb it, I hate wash day even worse. So I may try to go and wash this moss, and then we'll be ready to go live after wash day. Pray for me. I'm playing, but not really. Okay. But listen, let me go deal with this, and then I will be back and we will gossip on our main channel on Shanitra on the front porch. And I hope y'all enjoy the rest of your Thursday. Remember, Thursdays are for random acts of kindness. Do something sweet for somebody. Oh, and those of you who are royal family members, we will be having a family meeting today, because this is November. Y'all know we do our Queen of the City food drive. It will hold this year like it holds every year. Now, I let y'all off the hook with our masquerade ball. It was fun for me, but like last year, nobody showed up. Like I did makeup and everything. Nobody was ready. That was fine. But but our Queen of the City food drive will hold. It will not fail. It will not fold. So we will be having a family meeting today. If you are a royal family member and you know you are a royal, be on your P's and Q's. When we get out of our gossip session on the front porch, we will be having a family meeting shortly thereafter so we can coordinate. This is important. The things that we do in our community are non-negotiable. As women, we have to be responsible for the people around us. Okay? So see y'all in a little bit. My hair will look better, I promise. Or at least it will be clean. If it doesn't look better, it will be clean. Okay? All right. So I'll see y'all in a little bit. You know what time it is. If you did not hit the like button on the way in, please make sure you hit the like button out. This with the cherry on top. The notification bell, make sure you click all so you will know every time we go live on this good channel. Okay, subscribe if you're not subscribed, because we're happy to have you here and we need to build up our numbers. Okay, so please suggest this channel to people around you. Let them know they can get the news, all news, no nonsense. I'll let them know what's going on, you know, no matter what it is, good, bad, or ugly. Okay, so please share this channel, like the video, subscribe to the channel. You're welcome if it's your first time, and if not, welcome back. And I will see you next time on Black Not Blue. All right, bye.